Okay, welcome back. This is part 5 of my file upload tutorial. And in the last video, we continued on with everything. So we've connected to our database, and we've gotten our date. That was real difficult. And we've created our char set and our lengths, and I've decided that I'm actually going to add in the rest of the alphabet once again, except in uppercase. So bear with me for a second. Okay, so all I did is I added in the alphabet once again in our char set, so it'll look a little bit more random when it's displayed. So yeah. Okay, so inside of our for loop, what we need to do is we really only need 2 or 3 lines of code in here, and at the very most 4. So the first thing is we need to turn the caps lock off. We need a random value, and we're going to use the random function, or the rand function, and which requires not a single parameter, but you must have the parentheses right there. You have to have those. And then we're going to hit %, which in programming is usually used as a mod or modulus, and it's a little bit advanced of a concept. And if you really want to know what it really does and what it's all about, just Google it or something. So then we need the length of our char set. So str len, and then inside of here we need the char sets variables, $char set. So that'll get the length of that. So then put our semicolon. So we're going to have another value, and it's going to be a TMP value, or it's going to be called TMP, and it's going to be a temporary value. So we're going to say $TMP equals, and we're going to use the substring function, and our substring is just going to randomly grab a single character every time this is looped through, and we're going to add it to another variable. So the first thing in our substring is we need the entire thing, what we're searching through, which is the char set. So $char set, comma. Then we need the I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but I am. Okay, so now you need the rand value. I can't quite remember what it's called. I'm sorry. Then you need a 1. So the substring function can take 3 parameters: the entire length of everything you're going to be searching through, the position to start at, which is what this is, the rand value. It's the position in here that's going to be started at. It's going to start at, and then the length of it, which is 1. So we're going to have another line, and we're going to have this as code. And our code is going to be equal to, or it's going to be concatenated onto, so period equals, not plus equals, nothing like that. It has to be a period equals. So we're going to append our temporary value every time we loop through. We're going to append it onto the end of our code that is already there. So in here we just put the temporary value. So if we save, and if we just echo out the code, and I'm also going to echo out a line break, or 2. Yeah, we'll just go 2. So if we save and refresh, you see right here we have, what are the odds of that? We actually get a word right there. You can see every time we refresh, it's a different value, and it's 15 characters every time. So you can see the value changes every time that this is looped through. So we can get rid of our echo. So we've generated our random code. Now what we need to do is we need to, well, first of all, we need to create this directory if it's not already created. So that can be a little bit of a problem if by trying to add something into a directory that doesn't exist. but you likely won't have it. And a little bit later, I'll show you how to make it so we can search for a directory to see if it's not already created. Actually, we'll just do that now. So since we've already connected to our database, we need to create a query. So query equals MySQL underscore query, and the query is going to be select, what was it called? Select name, which actually we're going to change our name in our database to code, and in lowercase. So we're just gonna we're gonna make that code. So we're gonna select code from, and the database name, which was, or the table name, which was files. So we're going to select the code value from files. Oh, I hit a tab. While the code we have while the code in the database is equal to the code we have generated, so $code. And then we're going to use the numRows function. So $numRows equals MySQL underscore num underscore rows. And in here we just have our query. So $query. So what we're going to do, what it's doing here is we're going through our database and we're checking for the existence of our code that we have made. And if the code is found, and the numRows determines whether or not the code is already found. So we're going to put it in an if statement. So we're going to say, oh, there we go, if numRows does not equal, or if it does equal, so equals 0. There we go. So if our numRows does equal 0, that means our code is not found. That means that the code is, there is not a directory with our code. So if it is not found, we're going to actually insert everything into the database and whatnot. And if it is found, we are going to, what we could do is we could put this. Okay, I'm going to pause the video momentarily so I can figure out how I'm going to do this. Okay, so how we're going to do this is we're going to create a while loop. So we'll just do that there. So the inside of our while loop, the parameter for our while loop is going to be pretty much this, except not equals. So while our numRows does not equal 0, which means that it is already taken, which there's a very high probability it won't be, and that's my phone. Yes, that's right, I have an EKG machine beeping for my SMS sound. We're going to copy this for loop, and we're going to paste it inside of our while loop. So every time we loop through and our numRows the value is already taken, we're just going to generate it again. And then we're going to run our query again. So right there. So it'll then loop through once again, and that will make it so we'll never have the same value. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to stop this video here. In the next video, we'll continue on with this. We'll actually create our directory, and then we will throw the file into that directory, and then hopefully get to our download page /section thing. So, check out the next video.